Our legal analyst, our legal analyst Joe DiGenova is standing by to talk about this a little bit. Hello, good morning to you, Joe.
Good morning.
All right, so look, one of the controversies, and there are many facets to this story, but one of the controversies has to do with the fact that the president chose not to inform Congress, even though there was an agreement, there was an understanding that there was going to be notification at least 30 days before they did anything with these transfers, and any kind of prisoner swap, that Congress would be notified, and it simply did not occur. What do we know about the legal underpinning for the president's decision to go forward with this without notifying duly elected members of Congress?
Well, he claims he has the constitutional power to act as commander-in-chief in a prisoner exchange, which may or may not be true under the circumstances. But it's cloudy enough that he can do that. However, the problem for the president is that it's not that he didn't notify Republicans. He didn't notify anybody except, unless you believe Harry Reid, who says he was told. I actually think Harry Reid is now totally psychotic. I don't believe he was ever informed. I think he just made it up at the moment. But the problem for the president is huge. This was not a controversy whipped up in Washington. This controversy was whipped up in the military, and it was whipped up in the countryside and in the hinterland by the American people. The president is now on very shaky grounds constitutionally, legally, and politically. He is at war with the Constitution. He is at war with his own Congress and with the Democrats. This was a bad deal. That's why people are upset. It's not that they don't want prisoners brought home. This was a bad deal. And when the president starts talking about whipped up in Washington, that's the usual straw man routine that he goes through. We saw our president, as he always is, graceless, incompetent, petulant, and now engaging in pettifoggery about the legalisms surrounding this. This has nothing to do with legalisms. This was a bad decision, and let me tell you something. The people in the Department of Defense who have saluted for the last 6 years are not saluting anymore. There is an anger and an irritation and a frustration in the military that has reached palpable proportions, and the president doesn't care.
Joe, when we had you on Monday, we didn't have all of the details that have emerged midweek, and we didn't have these 6 platoon members who have come out and spoken. And so I wonder, again, to take it back to a legal issue, we've now found out that these soldiers were asked to sign non-disclosure agreements, which, by the way, sounds a whole lot like what we heard with the victims of the Benghazi raid, the survivors. Yeah,
it's identical.
Is there any? Can you imagine the U.S. government, the U.S. Army, going after these guys and actually trying to enforce that?
Well,
is there recourse?
That is only enforceable as long as they're in the military. And not only that, Bergdahl's home. So the reason they were forced to sign those agreements, they weren't asked to sign them, they were forced to sign them as part of the command structure, was that they said if anything is said, it could endanger his life. Well, he's back, they're out of the Army, and they're talking. And this shows you why non-disclosure agreements, whether it's Benghazi or Bergdahl, are bad. They are bad public policy. But the Army knows that. They did this. This comes from Dempsey, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Dempsey, I don't know if you've heard some of the Democrats and Republican members in the House and Senate talk about Dempsey. He has now become unbelievable. He's like his commander-in-chief. Every time he opens his mouth, they know it's not true.
Hey, Joe, since we brought up Benghazi real fast, I would love for you, as somebody who is intimately involved with the Benghazi story, and I'd love for you to listen to this real fast. Asked about the big Bergdahl trade, Hillary Clinton said,
"It doesn't matter how they ended up in a prisoner of war situation.
It doesn't matter?
It does not matter. We bring our people home."
Hillary Clinton says we bring our people home. In the context of Benghazi, what do you have to say to that?
Well, we didn't do anything to protect all of the Americans who were deployed in Benghazi, whether military, former CIA, or diplomatic. 4 Americans are dead. On her watch, she did nothing. She did absolutely nothing. The night of this attack, at 10:04, she is sending out a press release talking about the video. She did absolutely nothing to protect Americans in harm's way. She says, we don't care how they come home. 4 of them came home in coffins, Madam Secretary. 4 of them came home in coffins. And what difference does it make? Let me tell you something. I will be in the front line of those campaigning against her for president. This woman is so evil, so bad, so, in my view, disgusting. The notion that the American press is pumping her up for the presidency, I wait for this fight. I wait for it.
Well, you mentioned correctly that we did bring them home in body bags or in coffins.
Yes.
It is shocking that she continues to be thought of as the inevitable nominee.
And that is because the American media is corrupt. That is because she can say and do anything she wants, because the American media no longer serves its function under the First Amendment. They are not neutral and detached. American media is of the left, by the left, for the left. They are Democrats. They are ideologues. That's why your current legal commentator, who used to support a shield law for the press, does not support it anymore. They don't need a shield law. They need a backbone.
Joe DiGenova, real fast, we only have 30 seconds, but you said last week these were potentially impeachable offenses. No one thinks that the House is going to try to impeach this president. What can the House do, or should they do?
I think both houses of Congress should pass bills of censure. Don't remove him from office. First of all, we don't want to do that, and I'd rather keep him around and let him suffer. There should be motions to censure the President of the United States for lying to Congress, failing to follow the law of 30 days notification. He doesn't have to be impeached. There's an easier way. Embarrass him publicly. It's the one thing he can't stand is controversy and people saying he did something wrong. His ego can't take it. I'm for going after his ego. A resolution of censure against the President of the United States is the way to go.
Thank you, Joe DiGenova. Always good to have you.